Welcome to Built for This, the podcast where real estate meets real life skills. Hosted by Andrea Lane and Alyssa Bicar, each episode features investors turning their unique edge into long-term rental success.
Hello and welcome to the Built for This podcast. I am your co-host, Alyssa Bicar, the consultress, here with my partner in crime and co-host, Andrea Lane, the fearless real estate investor. In this show, we interview real estate investors who bring all of their personal and professional skill sets to the business of real estate investment. Andrea, who do we have for him today?
So tonight we have James Hwang, who is an oncology pharmacist by day and a real estate investor by night. He owns triplexes and duplexes in Bloomfield, New Jersey, close to where he lives, something I don't do. So I'm really excited to have you here tonight. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So James, my favorite question, why did you get into real estate?
Yeah, actually, it ties into what I do for a living. So I had coworkers who started talking about real estate investing and some of like the big podcasts and books that are out there. And I wasn't really that interested, but during COVID, when everything kind of shut down, that's when I started to dive, into it and got super addicted, just how everyone kind of does, right? I think we have that same story. And I was just learning a lot. But I had a pivotal moment in my life around 2021 where I actually developed like an eye condition where I almost couldn't see. And I got really close to not even being able to work my regular W-2 job as an oncology pharmacist. Like I have a doctorate degree, right? And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I may not even be able to work, right? Because if I can't see. And so that eye condition has since been fixed, which is good. But that's what gave me the kick in the butt to say, all right, I've been sitting on the sidelines and learning, right? I got to take action. And so that's how I kind of got started into real estate. And that's also what defined what financial freedom meant to me. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm building wealth and have all this crazy cash flow, but I want just enough so that I don't have to rely on my W-2 income. I can take care of myself and also be caretakers for my parents and my loved ones. And I saw that real estate was the way for me. And so, I dove right in.
I love it. I love it. So that's a great reason to get in, and knowing, having a kick in the pants sometimes is what people need, right? Because you can be in analysis of paralysis and never move forward. So the kick pushed you there. So now you're good for you. What do you love most about real estate now that you decided to delve into it?
The thing that I love about real estate is that, well, I have a mix of long-term rentals and midterm rentals, and midterm rentals is my specialty. But I also treat my long-term rentals as if it's a midterm, meaning I'm always looking to serve my tenants, right? So if even if my long-term tenants complain about something small, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take care of it. Because I believe as a landlord, we have an obligation to make sure that we're good caretakers of our tenants and our properties at the same time. And so doing things like that where I'm serving them is what gives me a lot of satisfaction. Another thing is that it allows me to create a lot of systems. I'm a big systems person. I'm a little bit of like a visionary, but I'm an integrator at heart. So I love creating systems, tweaking operations, creating SOPs and guidelines, and building a team and being able to connect the dots from A to Z. But the other thing that I really love about real estate is that it gives me an opportunity to mentor other people, from beginners to intermediates, wherever they are in their journey. It gives me a lot of opportunities to mentor, and I've done that too with like local people and communities.
Yeah, so your heart is on your freaking sleeve, man. I am loving what I'm hearing, because if you've heard some of the conversations we've had here, it's always about it being a people business. And I love that, like, your number one MO right here sounds like it's being in service to the people who enjoy your spaces that you're creating. And so I wonder, kind of just like taking a little bit more of a 30,000 foot view, dialing back into the broader landscape of who James is. You have your professional career, and it sounds like you dedicated your life to that work, and all of a sudden that wake up call that you had, oh, wait, I might not be able to do this forever, got you invested. But also, I'd love to know what some of those skill sets are that are transferable that allow you to kind of have that unique advantage in developing how you're going about your real estate investment strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as an oncology pharmacist, attention to detail like no other, right? Because I'm treating cancer patients, but also I work for a very large medical institution. And so I'm a natural leader, I'm a natural person who just takes on responsibility. And so I've built a lot of systems and guidelines and, built entire workflows at work. And I realized that I can do that in my real estate businesses as well. So whether it's, like I said, creating guidelines and SOPs just among like all my rentals, but also creating like coaching programs or mentorship programs. But my secret sauce is that even when I'm working with contractors, I'm very systematic about how I approach everything. If we're going to renovate like a bathroom, I'm going to take a wide angle photo of that bathroom and notate all the things that need to be done. I'm also going to create like a video walkthrough and all in like a Google Doc. And so there's no ifs, ands, or buts. This is what we discussed. This is what's going to happen. And it helps to, not have any issues, moving forward. So my ability to create systems, that's been, something I've been taking my unfair advantage, I guess.
Yeah, get ahead
Yeah.
of the issues before they're born, man. Like this is part of the deal. When you have someone who's in a creative capacity, like yours truly, I like to create new things. So I always have had to lean on my systems brain. That's kind of like my backdrop to wrangle in. Okay, I want to do something new. I want to innovate. How does that fit in to the system that I have? Does it match? Do I need to create a new system? So like it sounds like innovation is for me is the thing that creates long-term SOPs. And when we're saying SOPs, guys, this is just standard operating procedure. In case you're not hip with the lingo, when you systematize your approach to things, like in any business, there's less left to chance. There's less left to human error. And so if you always have a way of going about things where you take step number one and that leads to step number two, that leads to step number three, there's less room for, I started here, I'm ending up here, but how I get there is anybody's mystery. That's not repeatable, it's not sustainable, and my God, is it exhausting. Andrea, I know you've had a lot of experience with this. What are some of the things that you see in terms of systemization
So
in your 40 years?
That's what builds your business, right? That's what makes it a business, not a job, not a one-off, right? Your systems put you in place and allow you to move forward and allow you to grow consistently and with a plan. If you don't have systems in place, there's so many things that can go wrong. And I love your plan for your contractors. I just hope they stay on the job once they start. That's the problem. We have really good systems. We know exactly what we want done, but then they have to come every day and finish it. And we do a lot of rehabs at a time, not just fixing rentals. So yeah, it's a struggle. So I love that you have it and they stay. So good for you. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things with contractors is that if you have like a good contractor, you need to obviously hold on to them. But what I also do is I make sure I'm referring as many people, right? And providing value to them by keeping them busy so that when I call, when I text, they will return my call, they will come up and they will show up because it's still a business to them and they're doing a million things. They're not always the best business people and good at keeping relationships. So that's how I've kind of solved that
I actually offered 2 contractors to be their business person, like for free. I'll run your business as long as you show up. That was like a little bit of an incentive there, but yeah, so it's very interesting. So I have a question. Since everything sounds really good, what's your biggest challenge? So if you have a contractors that's working and you have SOPs, what's the challenge you have?
I think the challenge for me is that I'm still working a full-time W-2 job. And so in addition to the small multifamily properties that I own, I also built a midterm rental company with 2 other partners, and we have over 20 midterm rentals under our portfolio. And so this is all just self-managed. And last year we had to hire virtual assistants, and now we have like an entire team. We have a cleaner that is, also working with us too. And so during that process, the hardest thing is sometimes time because I need to be at work, but I also need to manage my own rentals and all these other midterm rentals. And I'm also a midterm rental educator and a coach too. So for me, time management has been really hard. But the way that I figure that out is when I am particularly inspired or feel energetic towards accomplishing a certain task, I'm just going to get it done right away. Maybe it's not the most high priority thing, but let me just knock that out while I had the time.
No
And everything kind of
procrastination. I
falls
love
through.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, listen, when you feel the itch, you have to scratch it. Like, this is part of the thing I hear with a lot of people is like, oh, I have a time that'll do that. Well, if you have an insight, get it done, like hop on that momentum, because there's nothing like that wind in your sails. For example, I know there are a lot of people who say, well, Monday is marketing, and then Tuesday is outreach, and then Wednesday, like, listen, man, if you're feeling outreachy on a Monday, do the thing. Like, harvest that energy and inspiration, because it, like, there are days when, yes, you're going to have to show up when you don't feel like it. But this is like the antithesis of that. Harvest your energy when it is present for you. I love this. So as we're listening to you talk about your self-management versus your partnerships in midterm rentals, it seems like you've put together a nice little portfolio for yourself. Are you looking to grow your own assets outside of the midterm rental space too? So like, kind of give us an insight into your mix, long-term, midterm, or what have you.
Yeah. So right now I'm actively converting my long-term units into midterm because one of my goals is to go part-time at my W-2. And so I need to boost a little bit of cash flow, so that I'm currently doing that. And one of my goals, either probably by the end of next year, I do want to buy another small multifamily that I do want to house hack. Once I get stabilized with that, then I can probably go part-time, especially with this extra personal net cash flow that I'm able to generate just from my properties. But the goal is always to buy. I think that's how you generate wealth. And so for me being in New Jersey, cash flow is hard to come by, right? In like high cost of living area. But I figured out how to cash flow more, and that's through midterm rentals. And so not only am I cash flowing plenty, I'm also building so much equity. And with that equity, I can do more, right? So I can scale. So that's what I want to do.
I mean, that
Excellent. I love it. I just got off the phone with someone and he buys apartments and he sells them after 7 years because of the appreciation. And I'm like, yeah, the only places I'm ever sorry about are the ones that I should have bought and didn't, and the ones that I sold. So I don't care about this 7 year makes a lot of money. In 10 years, it's going to be worth more. And I still own the dirt and I still get the income. I really like that buy and hold forever policy.
yeah. I come from a family that is of the same stock, but what I love, what I'm hearing, James, is that, you're looking for ways to be more creative in a market that seems to have small margins. This is staying agile, staying nimble, in a shifting landscape. So you know your marketplace, what it commands. And in the midterm rental space, we've had quite a few conversations around midterm rentals. What are the typical deal flows that you see in the midterm rental space? Like, how are you attracting clients or making that part of the business work in terms of finding tenants?
Yeah, as far as like finding tenants, I'm always surprised at the type of people that need temporary furnished housing. It's not just your travel medical professionals, like the whole travel nurse thing got really popular, right? But we have a lot of people that are in transition, so they're relocating before they purchased a property, or they're in between home sales, so they're renovating their new primary, they need somewhere to stay. And we have a lot of people that are here for work. So we also build business to business corporate relationships with companies who need to house their employees. And so we're not just relying on, platforms like Airbnb or Furnish Finder. We're generating all these additional inflow of leads and inquiries, but we're also building a local community of midterm rental operators. They send us their leads that they can house, and we're also doing the same. So we're collaborating through and through.
Oh, I love that.
And you're doing all of this in New Jersey.
All of it in New Jersey.
Very cool.
Yeah.
It's a great place for rentals if you want to play the game here. And I like the idea that it's midterm, so you're not by the same rules as a long-term tenant. New Jersey, I'd rather have short-term.
Yeah. It's like no two conversations are alike. Listen, we're here to learn and to inspire as well as be inspired and share what we know. So I'm so glad to have you here. And as we're kind of bringing our interview to a close, we heard a little bit about what you're going to be up to in the next 6 to 12 months. Anything additional you'd like to share? And then let us know where people can find you.
Yeah. In terms of like what I want to share is that if I can give advice to anyone out there who are just starting out or kind of siloed into just doing this by themselves, we're not meant to do real estate, alone, right? So number one, I always say build community, go to real estate meetups, find people that are just one step ahead of you or that are in the same lane, make as many friends as possible, and then figure out as many ways to provide value to them creatively. If someone is doing DIY renovations, you know what you do? Ask them, hey, can I take out your garbage? I'm going to sweep for you. Because when you are renovating, especially when you're doing DIY, garbage, all that stuff, super stressful. Take that away from them, right? So provide value and be creative of how can I surprise someone and help someone? Because that means that when you ask them for help, they're going to be an open book. They're going to give you all their contacts, everything. Right. So that's
I love it. I say that to people all the time, right? Just follow somebody around, do some of their dirty work, right? Because you want the team around you. Real estate isn't about the property, it's about people. And so you want to build a great team that you can work with going forward. It's so important. I agree with you. That's
right on. And so, with that said, giant hearts on our sleeves, we're in the people business. You embody, come from a place of service first, because if you are willing to give to others, like I think there's a quote and I'm going to mash it up and probably misquote who said it, but it's if you will get what you want if and only if you help enough other people get what they want. So focus your mind on the giving, and the receiving will come later. In economics, we call that a lagging indicator. The success shows up if you're focused on giving. Yes, totally, 100%. James, thanks a million for being here. Where can people go to find you if they want to look you up?
Yeah, the best place for me, I'm active on Instagram at James_Hwang. My last name is spelled Hwang. You could also find my company, stellarhousingsolutions.com. And also, I have a midterm rental community online. If you Google MTR office hours, it's a free community. We do weekly live calls. I have all the big names coming to do presentations, lots of resources as well. And so I'm all over the place. That's where you can find me.
Thank you so much. This was so amazing. Andrea, any last
No, I love it. I love the way you do business. I love SOPs. I think they're the best driving force of any business. No.
Right on. So you heard it here, real people doing real estate and making it work for them, regardless of the marketplace, whether you think it's affordable or not, depends on what you're looking for and how you're going to operate that business. So we are super jazzed to highlight these types of conversations. So if you know someone who is a landlord that is making things happen and bringing all of themselves to the table, we want to interview them. Apply on our website, builtforthisshow.com, to be a guest on our show. And in the meantime, if you are streaming, we have had a wonderful time talking with you. Don't go away. We have another amazing guest lined up right after this.
This wraps another episode of Built for This. If you're a real estate investor with a unique edge, apply to join us at builtforthisshow.com/guest.